Right. Polishing a window in the bottom of this garnet. And I just did the 260. Now I'm going to do it at 600. At this point, the stone is not yet dopped. It's not put on a dop stick yet because I don't even know if I want to use this stone. I want to make sure that it's relatively free. It's flea. Flea is a bird. Relatively free of nasty flaws, and I could not see into it very well. Alright, so there's the 600. I'll move it around a little bit so it has a good time. And at some point here, make an executive and fairly arbitrary decision that that's probably good enough. Alright, pick her up, turn this off, turn off the water flow, have a look, and indeed it is smoother now. Gee, how about that? Okay, but not smooth enough because we want to be able to see right inside it. And look at all that garnet juice, garnet slurry. It's interesting. I've not worked with garnet before, and it leaves quite a whitish slurry, more so than the other 2 or 3 materials I've worked with so far. Okay, cleaning off my lap just a little bit before I put it back. I grabbed that rack from my office. It wasn't being used for anything. I also own my business, so I don't suggest you just steal random things at work, but if you own a business or if the office is throwing some stuff away, you might want to snag a rack like this for your laps. It's kind of handy. So we're going to go to the 1200 lap and just smooth that guy out a little more. I wanted to say, for those who are just tuning in, except that doesn't make any sense on YouTube, really. But I don't know, maybe your friend is watching it and you're not sure what on earth is this guy doing. I am just cutting and polishing, not really cutting because the plane was already there, but I'm smoothing and then going to polish the bottom of this so that I have a window to see in and see whether this is the stone, whether this is the garnet for me, to be the first garnet I'll ever have faceted. And look at that milky stuff. Funny. Every stone has its own, every material has its own funny little properties, and some of them don't get like a number, like they don't rate them for milkiness of slurry. Okay. And if everything worked as it should, then we now should have an even smoother surface. Woo! Yay! And then finally, get rid of all this milky slurry here. You really should clean better between phases. But again, this is not the gem as it is being finished, but rather just polishing a window to look inside it and check the flaws. You also should dry your laps better, but I'm going to use them again in a minute. So now I'm going to grab the only kind of polishing that I have done so far has been with cerium oxide ultra laps. I am eager to try other methods. When I took the course at the Rice Museum here in Hillsboro, Oregon, I tried something called voodoo, which is it's a polish, and I liked that very much. So I might try to get a hold of some of that. Some of these materials can be difficult to find, but I think there's a dude who makes voodoo somewhere here in Oregon. I think it might be the guy who invented it, or I don't know. In any case, it's findable. For these ultra laps, a layer of water will help Hold them down, you Zulu warriors. No, hold them down. Hold down the ultralap, and then you're supposed to get the bubbles out relatively well. And I always catch my finger in the end and have to do it all over again. But in any case, once again, this is not for keeps. This is just for a viewing window. And fired up. And gonna do the polish now for the viewing window. Hey, and I haven't let go of this thing once while it's been on the lap. That's amazing. Of course, it's never too late, and I certainly could now. Especially polishing. Polishing's funny. It's kind of grabs in funny ways. How can I describe it? It's inconsistent. The friction increases and decreases very suddenly. You can see my hand jerking around, and I'm sure that has to do with the physics of the extremely small particles that are now scratching the stone in order to bring it to a polish. Basically successively finer and finer scratches, taking the stone from rough to smooth to very smooth, and then to a mirror-like polish. So let's have a look and see how we did here. And for the polish, of course, you want to assess that, you'd want to dry the stone, and then it should be mirror-like. And it is almost mirror-like. But the real question is, in this case, can I see inside? So, can I see inside? Not very easily. It almost seems like I would need to polish two sides to really see. That's not particularly well polished yet. I'll polish it a little more.